everyone, welcome to my very first Alviso crit. If you don't watch NorCal Cycling's channel, then you might not know, but this is a lunchtime ride out in near San Jose on every Tuesday and Thursday at noon. It's like a crit around this circuit. It's a pretty long circuit, like 3 minutes I think it was, so not super crit-like, but still a lot of fun to like come and pedal hard at lunch. It's just on these roads through this like quieter part of town. It's a pretty fun racing dynamic. Everybody seems to just come out swinging since it's a lunchtime ride, which makes the racing a lot more fun. Been to a couple now as of recording time, but these have been a lot of fun so far. The theme is basically just attacks and counterattacks. You see being kind of active near the front here, just trying to follow everything that looked dangerous. Jeff himself from NorCal Cycling was here, so it's kind of funny how everybody wanted to follow his wheel whenever he attacked. It was kind of like when Alex Howes would show up to a midweek crit in Golden, like everybody wanted that wheel. Yeah, it's like it feels like a cyclocross section through there. The pavement's so bumpy on that corner. But yeah, here's another counter going. I didn't want to chase this one, so waiting for somebody else to come through. There they go. See, seems like everybody's so excited to chase, like without fail. When the group's this big, at least. This week the group was much smaller, and it was a much different dynamic of like, well, there's a break and everybody's in it, so we're gonna sit and watch it go. But with the big, strong group, that was not the case. It was very aggressive the whole time. Never really settled down. You had to stay on your toes if you wanted to be near the front. So here's another section. These are, oh yeah, you see this little split happening. And on this section, there's a tailwind, so you start going pretty fast. People realize that might be going and start to get a little motivated. This is a really good spot most laps where you could come up behind a group off the front or like with a little gap with some speed and just blow by them. And you see that's what happens here when those groups like closed up. I just took that momentum we had and kept going up the right side because you see another little move forming, so I wanted to go get in that. So taking some more efforts to try and get off the front before the end of the race. That was another funny thing. I didn't know when the race ended, so I was just kind of racing my bike. I didn't really know what was happening. And there ended up being a break off the front at the end, which I was unaware of. I thought we were sprinting for first, but I think there was 3 guys off the front. So skipped ahead to like a lap and a half to go, and I thought we were sprinting for the win. So I maybe would have played more in this attacking game if there was something off the front to try and bring it back, but was trying to conserve energy at this point. This part was a little bit of a crosswind, so you just get off the headwind section and now it turns into a crosswind, and then we're coming up to that finishing stretch that I just showed you where we had the big tailwind and it was pretty easy to make a move. So that was kind of my plan here. It's like I'm going to wait until the tailwind section to try and get across to these little groups here. I don't want to do it quite yet, especially because this guy seemed content enough to pedal pretty hard on the front. So here we come to the last 2 corners. It's a pretty fast corner despite being like almost a U-turn. You could pedal through it. There's a car there, so a little more cautious on the lines from everybody. So I see this guy in the Specialized kit going on the left side, so I started going to match that. So I wanted to cover that, and he'd been pretty strong all day, so I wanted to follow that wheel. And I think we come across to this first group, and then just up, we looked back and the whole field was right there, so there wasn't really any point in continuing on with that. But just up here, I find out that it's 1 lap to go from the guys in front of me calling it out, and I found out that we do 3 laps once we come across the start finish after 12:30. So now I'll know. See, 1 to go. And so I think I was kind of far forward for 1 to go, since these laps are pretty long. But you see, I think it's after the first couple corners. Oh yeah, here. Some people come past interested in going fast. Yeah, there's a couple of them. And they pretty much just set like a tempo, this nice tempo for the whole last lap, which I was happy to sit in that train. Um, I knew that Jeff, the NorCal cyclist, was behind me still, and I'm not as good of a sprinter as he is. So that made me question my position a lot when I didn't see him. Um, I think I was too far forward still probably, but it wasn't like swarmy or anything. We were going plenty fast. This is like the headwind section, so it was a pretty solid effort still. It seemed like plenty of speed, and oh yeah, still even this guy sends one up the left side, but he doesn't get much of a gap on that. Like basically just stays just in front of us, just enough to like keep everybody still strung out and going for it. He's not going to get any gap here. So coming into the last few corners through the bumpies, and I knew from watching the videos of this course that that finishing straight is like deceptively long. It's not a like first out of the last corner crit, but I think I could be even further back than this. I think the important thing is coming at it and making a run with some momentum and not having to like stand up and stomp on the pedals to reaccelerate really hard. All right, so he's back. I didn't take that corner very well. It's being a little bit cautious on some of these since I'd never seen any of them before the event, and we're also on open roads, so I wasn't. But that one was particularly bad, I would say. So we're coming up to the last two corners here. I was waiting to just see the purple jersey come by me, and he does after these last two corners. So through there, I think I clipped my pedal a little bit on the second part of the corner, just a tiny bit. Didn't even like break the pedal stroke though, I don't think. And I started going up the right side, and this road bends more than I thought, and I should have gone up the left. So the first guy launches, and then Jeff is following that, and I went up the right side, so I was accelerating into the wind all by myself instead of on the left side with everybody else. You see, unfortunately, we cut the short sprint short after these two guys crashed, so kind of called it off, and we all looped back to make sure everyone was okay. I think the worst of it was a broken collarbone, thankfully. So excited to have a weekly crit and be able to come out to some more of these.